here at the grave of Thomas Holme and his brother John Holme. John was a major under Benjamin McVeigh. McVeigh is not buried here. He was a major for the 3rd Battalion and the 2nd Battalion. They were actually, they were 1777 to 1780, and then from 1780 to 1783, so there's a total of 6 years. His brother Thomas Holme was a captain of the 2nd Company. John Holme is the person who named Holmesburg after himself. And perhaps after his brother and his mother and his father and his grandfather. But we'll place markers on Thomas Holme's grave.
Yeah, we already got that one there.
We got that one. Lo and behold, there it is. And these are also Betsy Ross flags with 13 stars. They're duplicates, replicas rather. Then, okay, we'll have John Holme here.
There's
what
no,
we'll do-
putting it on the left or the right side.
Is there a left or right side? Well, there is a left or right side. I don't know which is more appropriate. I would put it on one of the sides.
Put it on the right-hand side. That's the one you raised to God.
So where do they put their medals? Where do they put their medals? Are they usually on
I don't know.
one
Where do
side?
they put your medals on your uniform?
Left-hand side.
Left-hand side?
But
You
facing
didn't
this
have
way.
medals.
They put them on there now.
Okay,
Facing this way,
Left-
though. But he's facing this way.
I know. It gets
That's the right
complicated.
way.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up. Okay, and our other one right in this vicinity, and we are, as we move away from the church, we get further away from the church in time as well. So these guys, actually John and Thomas Holme's father is buried right here, and this is his, but we're not going to put a marker on there, he didn't, but this is John Holme, the father of these guys, and the mother there. Then we have Jesse Dungan over here. And that we, believe it or not, we just discovered that grave today.
And I do
So
have
it's
another.
hot off.
I do have another record of Jesse Dungan being lieutenant.
Okay, he was a lieutenant.
Listed as lieutenant.
He was the brother of Benjamin Dungan, who will be visiting towards the end.
I have a quote from a letter dated May 22nd, 1682. Morgan Edwards stated that in the year 1686, one John Holme, who was a Baptist, arrived and settled in the neighborhood. He was an ancestor of the Holme family and of the Reverend J. Stanford Holme, D.D. of New York.
Let me just give you the dates here of these. No. This is, we'll clarify this. Thomas Holme is not, and this Holme family is not related to Thomas Holme, the Surveyor General. Completely different family. They are totally unrelated, as far as we know.
But this is the home of Holmesburg.
This is home of Holmesburg,
Okay.
and Thomas Holme, the Surveyor, did live in that area,
Right.
but it was not known as Holmesburg until 1802, when John Holme renamed his Washington lumberyard the Holmesburg Lumberyard in 1802. Well, let me just give you the dates here of these guys. John Holme is 1743 to 1810. Thomas Holme is 1749 to 1826. And Jesse Dungan is 1756 to 1823. So we are now going to move around to the Edwards family, and we can continue the pipes. Thank you. family, and in particular Enoch Edwards, Dr. Enoch Edwards, who we mentioned might have been George Washington's surgeon or
Aide de camp.
aide de camp. Is that what they called?
Physician.
His physician, right. Family physician. This is Enoch Edwards. Marshall is right two down, his brother. Marshall married the sister of Thomas and John Holme, Martha Holme. They both died pretty young, quite young. It's possible there's a story that Marshall Edwards was wounded and died of those wounds, wounded in the Revolution. We simply don't know. He was dead by 31 years of age, at any rate. And his wife died a year before him. The Holme family was very close. Obviously, the children of the family were their nieces and nephews.
I think the quote is he died in the service of his country, meaning he was enlisted at the time of his death.
Okay. Yes, he died in 1778, so the war was still raging when he died. His children some of them were, I know at least one was brought up by Thomas Holme's family. We will see later on when we get to Samuel Jones' grave, which is that pointed stone right there. He was the guardian for the children, or the rest of the children of Marshall Holme and Martha, Marshall Edwards and his wife Martha. So here we have Dr. Enoch Edwards and Marshall Edwards.
Fred, could you tell us a little bit about the actual markers that you're putting on there? Are they specific to the Revolutionary War?
These markers do say Revolutionary War on them. They came from Temple Aluminum Foundry, just outside of Reading, by way of Illinois. On the internet, you order things, wherever you can, and when they arrived at my house, like about 30 hours after I ordered them from Illinois, I found out that they were coming from Bulgan, Pennsylvania, or something like that, just outside of Reading. They're current.
They're for this type of ceremony, but they're not actually sanctioned by the VA.
Are they?
No, they're not exact. In other words, I'm just saying when I say sanctioned, I'm saying this VA, the VA didn't come out here and put a mark.
No, we are doing this ourselves.
Yeah, and it should be noted that Fred and Joe and another woman who's a Edwards descendant from California.
As a matter of fact,
Oregon State, an oceanographer out there.
Okay.
Purchased these.
Gene Edwards.
Edwards.
Let me just say that Joe got this rolling.
It was just luck. It was just luck.
Well, it's luck. It's all luck. But Joe knew that we were going to be doing something in the graveyard. He was aware that Enoch Edwards,
who's my hero, one of my heroes,
was buried here, and he said, "Let's find some others and honor these people." And so that got it going. Gene Edwards got involved. She purchased the two plaques, the two markers for the Edwards graves. She's obviously part of that family. The Holmes graves, I purchased one of them, and a woman named Karen Kalarchik, who has done a fantastic job of researching the Holme family and is a Holme descendant. She purchased the other one. The Baptist Church purchased the remainder, the other four that are here. And do you want to speak at all about the Edwards brothers?
Stars.
No.
Yeah, the 13.
I mean, Enoch Edwards has such a. There's so much information on Edwards that we'd be here a long
Okay,
time.
good.
I mean, he was a Revolutionary War hero. He was a signer of the Constitution. He ratified the Constitution. He was the first student that Dr. Benjamin Rush ever taught to be a doctor. I think he actually had some real estate transactions. But he had one time he was the owner of the Jolly Post. He owned a lot of property in Frankfurt. I mean, he was a correspondent with Thomas Jefferson, Monroe, Lafayette. I mean, he was a very important, underrated figure.
Here's his picture.
Yeah, and he had his painting done by a couple famous artists. What was his name? What was the artist that did the picture?
No, I have another. I have another email.
I think it's in the. I think it's actually the picture. I think is actually in the Philadelphia Academy of Fine Arts.
I think the last name was West. Okay, let's move over to Benjamin Dungan here, and we can get our Piper going again. Okay, this is Benjamin Dungan. He was a captain of the first company in both the 3rd and 2nd Battalion for 6 years. He was the captain of the first company. He is the brother of Jesse Dungan, who's buried out there. The Dungan family has all sorts of people buried here. Very prominent family. He was a deacon in the church. I should have mentioned that Thomas Holme was a deacon in this church as well. And his grandfather was